Talk with the Cowboy.
Welcome and thanks for riding with the Cowboy. We've got a lot to cover tonight. Baker Mayfield signed a couple of days ago with our team. We signed Greg Ennis of the Los Angeles Rams, defensive nose tackle. He did a real good job out there playing beside Aaron Donald, and we signed him this weekend. So we've done a real good job on the signing front with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A lot of movement. I want to commend Jason Light, and I want to commend Todd Bowles on this program for what they have done and assembled in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, being $55 million under the cap, that's below the cap, and been able to go to zero and even above and re-sign players like Jamel Dean, Levante David, Anthony Nelson, Aaron Stinney, Chase Edmonds, Greg Enos, and Baker Mayfield. So they picked up 8 players, being $55 million under the cap. Remarkable job from Jason Light and Todd Bowles. The Canales hire, the offensive coordinator or quarterback coach from the Seahawks, I think is absolutely remarkable because now you've got Mayfield and Trask that he can tutor both at the same time. So this is going to be really good for our ball club coming into next year. And we still have the draft coming up. I think we're out looking at some of the free agents that we still have signed from our team, Will Golston being one of them, and also Scotty Miller. That maybe we can get at a hometown discount or minimum veteran minimum. Some of these players want to test the free market and maybe come back to the Bucs. Maybe there's an offer standing. We don't know. But they've done an excellent job so far. And we're going to be behind Baker Mayfield, and we're going to hope that he does a great and wonderful thing. And he's one of ours now, and we're 100% behind Baker. And we're behind Todd Bowles and Jason Light and the way they're moving with what means they have to move with. And congratulations to them so far. And another news, Aaron Rodgers still hasn't moved to the Jets, but we know that's going to take place because his receivers are already from the Green Bay Packers on the Jets. I can't see that falling apart. I think it's compensatory late-round picks that they're talking about, not the overall of him being a Jet because he's going to be a Jet. Lamar Jackson's still out there roaming around. He wants more like 40 or 50 million a year, and nobody seems to want to give it to him. Of course, he's missed 10 games in 2 years, and 10 games in 2 years, and they only play 32 games is a long time. They don't want to pay him guaranteed money. So we're going to see how that unfolds. He might have to go back to the Ravens. I think there's bad blood there. I don't think he wants to. So we'll just have to see how Lamar goes. And we bring you up on all the rest of the major free agents. And that's what's going on with the NFL right now. So now we're going to go on to the Tampa Bay Rays as they start their opening day quest for the World Series Championship 1st of April. And they're continuing to play ball in spring training and prepare for their first opening day, which is about a week and a half away from now. Tyler Grasnos is back out there, and the rest of the pitching staff is looking real well. The hitting has been picked up. Margot's hitting. Brandon Lyle's hitting. Juan DeFranco's been hitting well. So in spring training ball, of course, it's spring training ball, but everything seems to be falling in place. No new trade acquisitions from the Rays before the season, but we still got about 10 days to go. But 1st of April, it's for real. It's one of the 162 they'll play, and that's about all we have on the Rays tonight. If we get ready for the Tampa Bay Lightning's last 10 games before they run for the Stanley Cup once again, the Lightning have fell in a funk, defensive funk. You've heard it on the show before. Their defense is really getting poorly. We've talked about Ryan McDonough, the ex-Ranger and Stanley Cup winner with us, and all the runs we made. We got rid of him last year to the Nashville Predators, and how his defense play was so remarkable, and he's gone. And we're sure suffering from it now, so we're going to have to get up out of this funk. We've got about 10 games to go. We're locked into a player's position, but we don't know exactly what the seed is until the end of the year. But we got to get the defense playing better for the Tampa Bay Lightning. You've got to defend that goal if you're going to go anywhere in the Stanley Cup playoffs, because your goalie can't not be left back there with nobody helping him at that goal, because they're going to score on you, especially in the playoffs. So we got to get out of that with the Lightning. We'll keep you abreast of it. Most of you Sports Talk with Cowboy fans are following the Lightning, so continue to be the Thunder for the Lightning. And now we're going to give you the results of the 71st run of the 12 Hours of Sebring this week out at Sebring International Raceway. It was a great race for the last 15 minutes when the Acura, driven by Philip Albuquerque of Portugal, went on the inside of the Penske Porsche and collided with him a couple times, bumped, and then Of course, Albuquerque went across the track and hit the Porsche that drove into the second Porsche, and there was a six-car melee on that turn, which eventually allowed the Wheeling Cadillac to win the race, who was in fourth place at that position at the time of that wreck. So congratulations to Cadillac. They win the 12 Hours of Sebring. And the winner's what they're going to look at, and you're the winner. So congratulations to the Wayne Taylor Cadillac Wheeling. All righty, so we're going to now go into some questions, and the first one is from Rob. And Rob wanted to know what I really thought of Baker Mayfield as a Buccaneer. Rob, I think Baker Mayfield is the quarterback we need. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He's on the down as far as his last few stops. Of course, he was at Cleveland for 4 years. I think Dave Canales is just what their doctor ordered. And Rob, I think he's going to be a good little old quarterback. He reminds me a lot of Jeff Garcia. If we can get him a little bit into Jeff Garcia mode, we all remember Jeff Garcia. Thank you for your question, Rob. And the next question is for Dave. And Dave wanted to know what I thought about the Rays pitching staff and hitting going into the season. And Dave, I think the hitting is the suspect here because we've had a lot of our hitters during the season go out with injuries. We've got fantastic pitching with the Rays. We've got 5 great starters that can almost carry us through into the playoffs. But we've got to have some hitting because, as you know, Dave, last year when we went to Cleveland, they couldn't score a run if somebody gave them one. So we've got to get some hitting. Our hitting's looking good in the spring, and everybody's not seriously injured yet. I'd like to see a couple more bats on the hitting, Dave, before we get into the regular season. I'd like to see a couple of more bats in that lineup, either from AAA or go out and trade for it. Thank you for your question, Dave. And the next question is from Pamela. And Pamela wanted to know what I thought about the USF's new football stadium that be built on the campus of Tampa, University of South Florida. And I think that is a remarkable stadium that they're going to build. And thank you for your question. It's going to be a 25,000-foot football stadium built entirely for the University of South Florida Bull football program. It's going to be built on the actual campus of the University of South Florida in Tampa. That will allow the Tampa to have a football stadium only and solely for the University of South Florida football team. I think it's going to be remarkable. It brings the community together. It brings the college together. And to have that stadium there on the campus for the kids to be able to walk from their dorm rooms to the actual stadium and watch their team from their college play is going to be a remarkable thing. And that's supposed to happen in 2026. And we'll all be looking forward to that. So God bless you for that question, and thank you. DJX, what you got for me?
Well, Cowboy, you know how we do it. Let's get right off into it, buddy.
Before you get started, I've got to say to you, happy anniversary to your wife, lovely wife, Mel, and yourself.
I appreciate that.
Happy anniversary, DJX.
Thank you, Cowboy. Appreciate it. All right. Will the Clippers avoid the play-in?
They might. The play-in from Team 7 to Team 10, they might avoid it. They've got the ability to.
Okay. All right. Could Jonathan Mingo be perfect for the 49ers?
He could be, and I think that's what they're looking for. Is somebody like him to help that one little piece to put them over the top, because they're always at the top. They just need to get over the top.
Right.
The 49ers.
Right. Yeah, they pretty much always got a good team. All right, let's switch over a little bit right here. Number 31, Cadillac rebounds for win after mishap.
That where we talked about the wreck out there in the turn when the Acura tried to go the inside and got inside of the Porsche, and the Porsche was taking the corner, and he had to continue on the corner and force the Acura off. He came back and bumped him a couple times, and then they went across the track and caused that terrific wreck. And that's what gave Wheeling the win.
So everybody was all right.
Everybody was absolutely all right, but it was a lot of almost 11 hours and 47 minutes worth of work in the biggest birthplace of endurance race in North America. They were very disappointed.
Right.
Their chins were hurting because rubbing them on the ground after that wreck.
All right. Let's switch over to my team here. Can the Steelers slow down the linebacker carousel?
They've got to get some stability in that linebacker core. The Steelers have always had a tough defense. They've always had a good line, and they've always had a good linebacker play back in the day when Jack Lambert and the rest of the guys were back there. And, the steel curtain. They've got some good defensive players with Watt as an edge rusher, but they've got to concentrate on some stability in them linebackers because they're calling the interference of that line play and that cornerback play. So they're the coaches out there. So you've got to keep somebody that's familiar with the team, knows what all of them have the ability to do. Because if that receiver gets loose, you a linebacker, you go to help the receivers. If the running back gets loose from the defensive ends, you go to do that. So you need stability there. Yes, the Steelers got to stop the bleeding on that, on some of that, on movement and in that linebacker core.
All right. A trending topic. Andy Ruiz calls out Tyson Fury, this boxer.
Oh, you know, the boxers, they've got to get something going. And they, Marshall, you know, all the promotional things and, you know, mixed martial arts and, you know, all of it, they have to have a lot of back and forth.
Yeah,
and Tyson Fury has made his living doing it.
Right.
You know, Tyson Fury. You say Tyson Fury, there's controversy.
All right, I'm going to take it to the boards. NFL free agent tracker. Texans sign linebacker Denzel Perryman. Jaguars get running back D'Ernest Johnson. What you think about that?
I like D'Ernest Johnson. I've seen him play. He's a pretty good little back. The other one I'm not as familiar with, but D'Ernest Johnson, that was a good pickup by the Jaguars. We can always use another back going into camp.
Right. Not a bad pick.
No.
All right. Well, I'm going to leave it right there, Cowboy.
All righty, DJX. Happy anniversary.
I appreciate it.
I want to thank everyone. I want to thank the comments in the last week when we asked about Baker Mayfield, Dave, and JD, and some other. We had over 70 comments on the ask to give the comment, and Dave's comment was to watch Baker, and he might be just perfect for the team, and JD thought he would be a good little bridge quarterback or maybe a good quarterback for a couple of years until another franchise quarterback is picked or picked up or what, but to give him a chance. And I appreciate both of your comments and the rest of the 67 or 68 other comments that were there. And most of them were favorable for Baker Mayfield. So we have a pretty good consensus on that, and that's a good thing. So until next show, be kind to your neighbor and show a lot of kindness because we sure need it in this world. And until next show, God bless you and Cowboy out.